Let me ask you a simple question. What if 3 hours, just 3 hours of conscious effort, could transform the next 30 years of your life? Too often we wait for life to change. We wait for clarity, for motivation, for peace. But those things are not given, they are created through action, discipline, and self-awareness. Let us reflect on 4 key pillars that will guide us during these precious 3 hours. Use them as tools. Use them as mirrors, dear friends. Let us begin by understanding the true value of silence, not as an absence, but as a presence. A presence that we so often overlook in the rush of daily life. We move through the world with noise surrounding us, voices, thoughts, notifications, distractions, layers and layers of unnecessary chatter that buries the simplicity of just being. When I say begin your 3 hours with silence, I am not offering an empty practice. I am offering a door into your own mind, into your own self, and into clarity. You may find it difficult at first because modern life is allergic to silence. The moment things become still, we reach for something to fill the gap. A phone, a song, a thought. But this very act of reaching reveals something important. We are running from ourselves. And this escape becomes our habit day after day, year after year, until we forget what we were running from in the first place. When you choose to sit in silence for the first hour, you are reversing that habit. You are saying to your mind, I am here. I am ready to listen. I am no longer afraid of what I will hear. In silence, you will find noise. The inner kind thoughts, regrets, plans, fantasies, fears, they will come like waves. Do not push them away. And do not hold on to them. Simply observe. This is the first lesson of silence. Observation without reaction. This is not a technique, this is a way of being. If your thoughts arise, just let them pass like clouds across the sky. The more you fight them, the stronger they become. The more you observe them, the more power they lose. This is how you train your awareness. This is how you begin to see. And what will you see when you stay long enough in silence? You will see patterns, perhaps, some old voices that tell you what you cannot do, perhaps some memories that never let go, perhaps questions you never had the courage to ask. You may even meet your true self for the first time, a self that is not based on what others expect or what you pretend to be, but one that simply is. And that meeting is the foundation of every great transformation, because how can you change your life if you do not know who is living it? As you continue your silent practice, day after day, hour by hour, something subtle shifts. The breath slows, the body settles, the eyes soften. You begin to feel present, not just in your surroundings, but in your own being. Your attention is no longer pulled in 1,000 directions. It becomes a light that you can hold steady wherever you choose. And with that focus comes clarity, and with clarity comes choice, and with choice comes power. Not the loud power of force, but the quiet power of direction. Many people ask how to find purpose, how to know what path to take, how to make the right decision, but they do not realize that the answer is not out there, it is already within. It is just drowned out by noise. When you sit in silence, you remove the noise, and what remains is the voice that has been waiting for you all along. Your intuition, your inner compass, the one that knows what is right before your mind tries to argue against it. This is the voice you must learn to hear and trust. And you can only do that by spending time in its presence. There is a moment in silence when time itself begins to slow. You are no longer measuring minutes, you are experiencing depth. You feel a sense of being rooted, connected, grounded. This is when the mind starts to align with the body, and the body with the breath, and the breath with the present moment. And this alignment is the beginning of discipline. Not the discipline that is forced, but the discipline that arises naturally from a clear mind. When your mind is clear, your actions follow. Your focus sharpens your decisions. Simplify your words, carry weight. And this happens not through effort, but through awareness. Silence is not separate from structure, it is the foundation upon which structure can be built. If you begin your 3-hour journey with a scattered, noisy mind, the plans you create will be scattered and noisy as well. But if you begin from a place of calm awareness, the structure you design for your life will reflect that peace. It will not be rigid or chaotic. It will be balanced and alive. It will serve you rather than control you. And this is why silence must come first, because it prepares the soil before you plant the seed. And then when you move into study, when you open yourself to knowledge and insight, your mind is ready. It is not defensive or distracted. It is open like a still pond that reflects whatever you place above it. The words you read sink deeper. The lessons you hear begin to live inside you, because silence has made space for them to enter. And this kind of learning is transformation, not accumulation. It does not add more noise, it brings more depth. But the real test of silence is not in the hour you sit, it is in the life you live afterwards. Can you carry that silence into your daily actions? Can you bring that same clarity to your conversations, to your work, to your relationships? This is what we call integration. When silence becomes not a practice but a presence you carry within you. When a moment of tension arises and you do not react immediately but breathe. When conflict comes and you listen before you speak. When decisions appear and you know without rushing. This is what silence trains you for. So when I say 3 hours for the next 30 years, I do not mean 3 hours of escape. I mean 3 hours of training, presence, structure, wisdom, and integration. And it begins with silence. Because silence teaches you to be present before you act, structured before you plan, wise before you speak, and steady before you move. So begin now, not with force, not with expectation, but with stillness. Breathe, sit, watch, be, and let silence show you who you truly are, so that you can shape the life you are truly meant to live. Just begin now. After silence comes the moment to build, and that moment is sacred, because the mind is now ready, it is calm, it is aware, and with that awareness we step into the second hour with intention. The purpose of this hour is to create structure, not as a cage, but as a foundation. Without structure, even the wisest insight is lost. Without a form, even the clearest intention drifts away like smoke. Structure gives shape to thought, direction to energy, and order to the chaos we often carry in our lives. Many people misunderstand discipline. They think it is restriction. They think it means forcing yourself to do what you do not want. But true discipline is the freedom to act with purpose. It is not punishment, it is preparation. A musician practices scales not to suffer but to be ready. A warrior sharpens his blade not because he fears, but because he respects the path he walks. In the same way, you must sharpen your life with structure so that you may be ready for the moments that test you. Now ask yourself this: what does your current structure look like? Do you wake up by habit or by accident? Do you begin the day grounded or scattered? Do you move through your schedule or do you get pulled by it? The truth is, your life is already full of structure, but the question is, who built it? Was it built by intention or by impulse? By awareness or by reaction? The second hour is about reclaiming that responsibility. It is about building your life instead of just living inside it. Start simple. Start with the first hour of your day. Because how you begin sets the rhythm for everything that follows. Do you wake up in noise or in stillness? Do you touch your phone first or your breath? Do you begin with clarity or confusion and then move further? Where does your energy go in the morning? What tasks hold your focus? What pulls you off track? Write these things down, not to judge, but to understand, because understanding is the first act of power. And once you understand, you can design a day that supports the person you want to become, not the person you are trying to escape. Give time to the things that matter before they are taken by the things that do not. Give space for your body, your mind, your breath. Give time for learning, give space for silence. Again, build anchors into your day, small moments that return you to your path. This is structure in its purest form, not a schedule full of tasks, but a rhythm that reflects your value. You will be tempted to fill your structure with everything, with goals, with tasks, with outcomes. But remember, too much structure becomes a wall, not a path. Simplicity is strength. Keep it clear, keep it aligned. A few powerful habits done daily will serve you more than 100 intentions forgotten by the end of the week. If you decide to stretch, do it with presence. If you decide to read, do it with attention. If you decide to train, do it with your full breath behind every movement. This is not about doing more, it is about doing with meaning. And structure does not stop at the daily level. It expands into how you handle emotion, how you respond to challenge, how you protect your energy in conversations, how you move through success and setback. When a difficult moment comes, do you have a structure to return to, a breath, a pause, a principle? Without that structure, you will be swept away by circumstance, but with it you remain steady like a tree rooted in its values, no matter how strong the wind. There is also the structure you hold within your mind, your inner dialogue, the way you speak to yourself. Do you build yourself up or break yourself down? Do you give yourself discipline or distraction? Do you correct your path or criticize your effort? Many people carry a harsh voice inside because they confuse structure with shame, but true structure is born from respect, not fear, from care, not control. Speak to yourself as someone you are responsible for. Guide yourself like you would guide a student, not with punishment, but with purpose. Now some will say, I have tried structure before and failed, but that is because they tried to build everything in a day and forgot that mastery takes time. Remember the lesson of the bamboo. It grows roots for years before it breaks the surface. It builds a foundation so deep that when it grows fast and strong. Your structure is the same. It must be built slowly, with intention, with presence, not all at once, not with pressure but with patience. Let your structure evolve as you evolve. Do not cling to what no longer serves you. A routine is not a prison, it is a path, and sometimes paths must be adjusted as you grow. Make space to reflect each week. Ask what worked, what did not. Where did you stay true, where did you drift, and then adjust. Not from guilt, but from wisdom. Structure is not fixed. It is living, it is breathing, it moves with you, but only if you listen to it. And then when the time comes for study, for learning, your structure will serve you, your mind will already be steady, your day already aligned, your environment already clear, and learning will become absorption, not effort. Because the chaos is gone, the resistance is gone, you have created a space within yourself where growth is not a struggle but a choice. Finally, let structure prepare you for integration. Because what you build now must live in the hours that follow. If you practice breath in the morning, let that breath guide you in conversation. If you sit in silence with strength, let that silence stay with you in movement. Let your practice follow you into your life until structure is not something you return to, but something you live through. And this is why the second hour is not separate from the first or the third or the fourth. It is a link in the chain, a step on the path, and once taken, it strengthens every step that follows. So sit with your breath, then build your rhythm, then open your mind, and finally live your truth. The next 30 years are shaped not by chance, but by design, so design them well now. The path continues, and now the mind is still, the structure is set, and your awareness begins to sharpen like a blade. With this readiness, we enter the third hour, the hour of study. But this study is not like what most imagine it. It is not the mere collection of facts or theories. It is not about knowing more than others. It is about knowing more of yourself. This study is for growth, for transformation, for mastery. It is the time you give to nourish the soil you have cleared and prepared. You have already sat in silence and learned how to observe. You have built structure to hold your energy now. You must feed your mind with wisdom that aligns with your path. Do not just read anything, do not just watch anything. Study what reflects your values. Study what challenges your thinking. Study what invites you to become better, not bigger, better, not louder, deeper, not wider. Study to see yourself more clearly and to see the world more truthfully. There are two types of knowledge, the kind that fills and the kind that frees. Filling knowledge is endless. It keeps you busy, it keeps you searching for the next answer, for the next idea. It can be useful, but without direction, it becomes noise again. But freeing knowledge is different. It opens something inside you, it gives you clarity, it brings you closer to your purpose, and this is the kind of knowledge you must seek in your hour of study. Not more, but deeper, not everything, but the right Choose one lesson at a time, maybe a book, maybe a teaching, maybe a moment from your own life, and sit with it, not quickly, not passively. Sit with it as you would sit with a wise friend. Listen to what it says and what it does not say. Ask yourself, what does this mean for my life? What is it showing me that I have not seen before? How does it help me move forward? This is study with purpose, not to impress others, but to improve your path. Let your study become a mirror, not a mask. It should reveal what you are not, what you pretend to be. If it is a story, let it show you a new angle of your own story. If it is a philosophy, let it sharpen your own beliefs. If it is a practice, let it deepen your own actions. The goal is not to copy, but to grow. Use what you learn to question not only the world, but your own patterns, your habits, your assumptions, your reactions. Because true learning begins when comfort ends. And remember, learning is not passive. It is not sitting and waiting. It is active, it is presence, it is engagement. Read slowly, reflect, often take notes not just of the words, but of what they awaken in you. Some of the most powerful insights are not in the book. They are in the space between the book and your mind. They come when a line touches something forgotten, when an idea stirs something buried, when a truth speaks to a place in you that was. Make this third hour sacred. Protect it from distraction. Give it your full attention. This is not time for multitasking. This is time for deepening, to truly absorb something. You must give it space to breathe, and that means you must be fully present with it, even if it is just one paragraph, even if it is just one teaching. If it is understood deeply, it is more valuable than 100 pages skimmed in a rush. And once you study something, take time to close your eyes and repeat it to yourself in your own words, not just to remember it, but to understand it, to internalize it, to make it part of your own voice. This is what allows wisdom to stay not as a guest, but as a companion on your journey. This is the way of the student who becomes the master. By studying with humility, by practicing with honesty, by living what is learned. Let study not be limited to words alone. Study the movements of your body, the reactions of your mind, the habits of your day. When you stretch, observe how your breath changes when you are challenged. Observe how your emotions rise when you speak. Observe what energy you bring. This is also learning, and it is always available if your eyes are open. Your life is the greatest teacher, if you are willing to listen. When you meet difficulty, study it. When you meet joy, study it. When you fall, study why. When you succeed, study how. Nothing is wasted. If you pay attention, every moment can reveal something. Every failure can sharpen your understanding. Every delay can deepen your patience. And all of it can become part of your wisdom if you are willing to study it fully. And when this hour is finished, when the learning has been received, do not just close the book or end the video or walk away. Sit for a moment and ask, how can I live this? What does it look like in action? How will I walk differently, speak differently, think differently? Because study that does not change how you live is not real study. It is just memory. And memory without transformation is just weight. Let what you learn be tested in your life. Not in the classroom, not in theory, but in the real space where your choices matter. When someone speaks to you with anger, will your study guide you to respond with presence? When the day goes wrong, will your study remind you to stay calm when you doubt yourself? Will your study return you to your truth? This is how learning becomes part of you, not when you remember it, but when you live it. And as you continue your path, as you repeat these 3 hours again and again, you will notice that your way of seeing the world begins to change. You will see more clearly, not just outside but inside. You will respond, not react. You will listen, not just hear. You will understand, not just know. And all of this is because you chose to study not just once but daily, with presence, with structure, and with silence. Before and after. This 3rd hour is not the end, it is the preparation for the next step. Because once your mind is sharpened by study, it is ready to be tested in life. It is ready for integration and action. It is ready to turn wisdom into movement, clarity into behavior, knowledge into being. And that is where we go next. You are ready now. Now you arrive at the 4th hour. And by now the stillness has entered you. The structure is supporting you. The wisdom is flowing through you. And yet all of it remains only potential until it is lived, until it is breathed into every step and every breath. And this is where the 4th key unfolds, the one that carries everything from the realm of practice into the rhythm of life. This hour is not for doing something new. This hour is for becoming what you have practiced, for being in motion, what you understood in stillness. You may sit in silence and feel peace. You may build structure and feel power.